With competition rising online, it's getting harder to stand out and get your content noticed. So in this video, I've got 5 tips for how to get and keep people's attention here on YouTube. Coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And on this channel, we do a lot of tech gear reviews, as well as tips and strategy videos just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So New York Times bestselling author Seth Godin said this: "Marketing is a contest to get people's attention." And if you've been on YouTube very long, you've probably realized how hard it can be to get your content noticed. In fact, there's over 500 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every single minute. So it's imperative that we learn how to get people's attention in the midst of a lot of competing messages. And check out this information. Consumers switch between screens up to 21 times an hour, according to a British study, which correlates with Microsoft's claim that the average person's attention span is now just 8 seconds. So that means when you're positioning your content or your videos, you've got 8 seconds or less to capture and hook your viewers' attention and then try to keep them watching. So in this video, I wanna share the 5 tips about the beginning of your video, that few seconds that you have to try and convince your viewer to keep watching, hooking their attention in those first few seconds. But there's a few things that actually have to happen before that we won't cover in this video, but here's how it works. The first thing that you wanna think about actually is your thumbnail. That's the most important thing on YouTube to grab someone's attention. It's the largest thing. Before they've watched the video, they're seeing the thumbnail. And the goal of your thumbnail is to actually get people either to click or to read the title. The goal of the thumbnail is that they would read the title to see if there's another layer of interest in it, right? So they're hooked by the thumbnail, then they read the title. The goal of the title is to get them to say, that sounds like an interesting video topic or whatever's covered in that video. I wanna click through and watch that. Which brings us to the first few seconds, which of course the goal of the first few seconds is to get them watching the rest of the video. So let's talk about some of the best practices for that hook, for that beginning of your video. But before we get there, let's talk about 2 big mistakes that I see people make all the time when it comes to the intro of their YouTube videos. Mistake number 1 is simply just wasting time. With those stats that we just read, there is no time to waste, especially at the beginning of your video. Every word counts, every second and microsecond counts. So the biggest mistake I see people make is spending some time welcoming people, just shooting the breeze. I mean, you're wasting time and audience retention is dropping like crazy if you don't get to the point right at the beginning of the video. The second big mistake that I see people make is they start with the logo or their bumper before they even get into their content of them on camera. And so you might notice here on Think Media TV that we always start with, the regular intro and then there's a bumper, and it's also very short where it flashes the camera a couple times and then it says Think Media. And so the biggest mistake that I actually see people making a lot is they'll play like a 10-second intro or sometimes like a 30-second intro, which is kind of an old school mentality. It's kind of like thinking it like of a TV show. You'd watch Friends or Seinfeld and they play like the long introduction and you're like, I've seen it before. That's why these days on Netflix, right, you can say skip intro. And so the biggest tip there on YouTube is don't start with a bumper. It's okay if you have one, but try to start with you on camera or something interesting on camera to have a hook before you go into any kind of crafted bumper or intro for your videos. Okay, so saying all of that, let's jump into my 5 tips for how to create a powerful hook that grabs people's attention at the beginning of your videos. Tip number 1 is tease the content of your video. So let's check out a quick example in a video that's all about how to get free stuff on Amazon. In this video, I'm gonna share with you how I get free stuff on Amazon and my 5-step system for how I actually earn money in the process. Coming up. So a couple things to note about that introduction is first, it is 10 seconds long. So it probably would have been better if it was 8, right? Because again, you have 8 seconds of people saying, do I wanna hang around and watch this? Is this what I thought it was gonna be? Do I wanna, actually get this content or not? So you're trying to pack as much in as you can in those first few seconds. And a couple tips here. One is you really wanna make sure that that first few seconds is in alignment with your title and your thumbnail. Think about congruency through the entire process. Someone comes on YouTube, they're looking maybe for some information or some entertainment. They see a thumbnail, they think that looks good. They read the title, they're like, I do wanna check that out. And then they watch the beginning to decide if it's in alignment with what they thought it was gonna be. So keep things aligned. In this case, the video is about how to get free stuff on Amazon, and I restate that. Additionally, try to tap into the viewer's emotions and desires. So one of the things that I did in addition to the factual content of the video, there's gonna be a few tips about how to get free stuff on Amazon, but then I was also talking about and how I actually make money out of the free stuff that I get. And most people probably wanna make money, right? You're trying to tap into a desire that the audience would potentially want. And then the last thing to consider here is features and benefits. The features of the video is like, hey, this video is gonna show you tips on how to get free stuff on Amazon, and there's 5 points. Be looking for the features, there's 5 points. Well, the benefits are what do those things actually get you? So when you're pitching your videos, think about the benefit is, I'm gonna show you how to optimize your YouTube videos, but the benefit is so that you can get more views and subscribers. A lot of times people, they don't necessarily want, to do the hard work of optimizing a video or figuring out how to set up their camera, but what they want is the result of what you're gonna show them. So let's say you're a beauty channel, you might say in this video, I'm gonna show you how to do a smoky eye so that you can feel more confident, so you can look your best, so that you feel your best. Make sense? So features are like practically, factually what you're gonna teach, but the benefit is maybe how it's gonna make the person feel and what is the desire that they would want to get out of that video. Tip number 2 is to lead with a question. Now, this is one of the most powerful ways to start a video because it can let people know if they're in the right place or maybe they're in the wrong place, and it can really create interest because people love questions. So let's check out this quick example. Are you curious about how to make real money on YouTube? In this video, I break down 3 different ways to earn $1,000 plus in detail coming up. Okay, so there you saw an example of a question. Are you curious about how to earn real money on YouTube? Again, based on the thumbnail, based on the title, now they're on the video and they're thinking, okay, I'm in the right place if that's what they wanna do. Maybe they're like, I'm in the wrong place, which is a good thing because you don't really wanna trick people. Again, you want congruency, you want alignment. So they know they're in the right place, and then I layered on a few other things even from the first one. In this video, I'm gonna break down some examples in detail, and that's kind of maybe emphasizing, maybe other videos don't have detail about it or they didn't fully explain everything. So think about ways that you can really stack the value to create as much interest as possible so that people want to continue watching the video. And one power tip here too, if you're doing kind of like educational content, is to use numbers. And the reason why is because it gives you a reason to want to actually complete the video. If I just said in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make money on YouTube, stick around, they might say, okay, cool, but if I say 7 different ways to make money, then you might do one of 2 things. You might watch all 7 because you wanna make it to the end, or you might at least skip around. I at least gotta get all the points, right? Most people are not gonna bail on number 3 if they know there's a certain number of points or content coming. So consider when it's appropriate for your content for actually giving a number amount of what people can expect so that they wanna stick around until completion of whatever you promise in the intro. Tip number 3 that you can include in some of your videos to really grip people's attention is this: cut to the chase. Now, I love that phrase because it kind of references like movies, right? You cut to the chase scene. And if we've all seen a movie where the movie doesn't necessarily start at like the beginning of the story, what it does is it sometimes starts in the middle at the drama and then it goes back, right? It shows you the most intense scene, like how did things get so crazy? How did things get so bad? And then after that scene is over, maybe it says 3 days earlier. And then you're like, shoot, like it led up to that. Now I'm interested in the lead up. And so consider doing that for your own videos. How can you cut to the chase? Okay, so here's a couple examples of this. Number 1, maybe you do some sort of a tutorial channel, and what you can do is show the completed result in the beginning of the video and then cut back and show how you got there. So if you were doing a beauty look or something, you could even actually tease it went from this to that. So you could show like no makeup, then you could show the final result, or the intro could be, you know, check this out, look how good it looks. I'm gonna show you how to achieve this look step by step in the video. The intro cuts to the end basically, and then you work backwards to get there. So people say, I want that result, I would love to get there. If you had a woodworking channel and you were building something, same thing. Here's the completed table. Now let's cut all the way back and we'll show the steps. Another example of cutting to the chase is with vlogging. And if you want to capture people's attention as a vlogger, maybe the highlight of your day, the day where you went to the water slide park, but then like Jimmy fell off the slide and it was super crazy. Well, number one, you might wanna put that most dramatic moment in the title and in the thumbnail. But then number two, you don't wanna start the video with like, good morning guys, it was super crazy. And what they thought was they were gonna see that dramatic moment promised in the title and in the thumbnail. You've probably noticed vloggers do this. What they do is they show that dramatic moment first, then maybe they do their intro, and then they start at their morning and they re-show that again. It's kind of like reality TV. Whatever the most crazy dramatic moment of the episode is, they keep teasing that at the beginning. They're like, coming up, and it shows the two people fighting and it's all crazy. And then you're like, man, what led up to that fight, right? The point is, if you wanna hook people's attention, think about how you can cut to the chase, the most dramatic part, the most interesting part, something really cool that you can tease, and then people can stick around to watch the video to actually get there. Tip number 4 is use a prop or a visual. You know, a lot of us on YouTube are just talking on camera like this, we're sharing content in some way, and it might just be us on camera. So think about how you can make things more visually eye-catching and more interesting. So again, if you were gonna do a product review, that's a prop, right? You're like, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the Canon 70D. You hold it up, people see that that's gonna be what you're reviewing, and that is a visual. But another thing that you could do is just anything to get people's attention. You know, one of my favorite things are these video clapboards, and you can grab these on Amazon. I'll link to this one in the description below. But again, maybe you just wanna say, you know, adds a little noise, some color. Just what are some ways that you could visually capture people's attention? This also could be like a cool location. Maybe start someplace else and people think they see the views, they see the background. Things are more interesting, because if you can make the shot more interesting and hold people's attention for a few more seconds, then they might hear you out to be interested in the rest of the video. But again, if it's not visually interesting, whether it's the location or whether it's like something to look at or like what's happening on camera, you know, those types of things, they may not stick around. So these are just tools and tactics that you can stack in your videos to try to get and keep people's attention more. And tip number 5 is movement. So again, just kind of like having a prop or having a creative location, think about ways that you can just make the shot more interesting, more attention grabbing, touching more of people's senses, touching their emotions in as many ways possible. And having movement is a great way to do that. In fact, you know, we do Facebook ads, and we also work with a lot of entrepreneurs that do Facebook ads. And when testing different ads, one of the things that has showed great results on Facebook is movement. If someone's walking, and maybe you need help to do that, but maybe someone, you know, you've got a lapel on and someone is filming you while there's movement, you know, we hang on stuff more, right? As opposed to just sitting here like this, it's a little more boring. Movement can really spice things up. And then you can actually take these different tips and stack them in whatever ways you want. So let's actually check out this example right here. All right. So I just got back from a trip to Idaho testing out the Canon SL2 for vlogging, and it was a super random day full of meeting up with entrepreneurs.
I think there's gonna be some broken knees.
Like, so many people here make it a little bit and get fancy.
And breaking the world record for the largest game of bubble soccer. Let's go! Let's break some records. Let's check it out. Okay, so from watching that example, did you see a couple of these tips all combined in one video? That was the goal, right? And so number 1 is I just had the tripod on a camera, but the movement was me walking into the room. And I came in, I wanted to kind of go fast so I could get close to the microphone as quick as possible. But that was some movement. You know, additionally, I had a prop. I said, you know, in this video, I do a test of how good the SL2 is for for vlogging. And so I hold up the prop. And so that kind of teases what's coming. And that was the point of the video. It's like, how good is the Canon SL2 for vlogging? But then additionally, I also teased a couple of the upcoming scenes, right? So I thought about this, and I thought about, in that case, Gary Vaynerchuk was in an event that I was at, so I wanted a clip of him because I knew that anyone who knew him, maybe they'd want to watch the whole video. I wanted to show some kind of clips and some different moments from that day, teasing that we broke the world record of bubble soccer. It was a pretty interesting day, so I had a lot of content to use, but I stacked all of those different things, and then the video played out from there. But the goal was to, all in those first few seconds, to try to not just get the viewer's attention, but tease enough content and give them enough reasons to want to actually watch through the whole video. Okay, so those are the 5 tips, but let me actually share a quick bonus tip that you could do as well from time to time. And that is actually saying and giving a reason for people to watch until the end of the video. So in this video, it would have been me saying like, do you want to figure out how to keep people's attention on YouTube? Well, in this video, I'm breaking down 5 of my best tips of how to do it, and watch until the end for a sneaky case study that revealed a trick that nobody knows coming up. And so it's saying something like that, like watch until the end because I have a free download for you, or make sure to watch until the end of the video to see a comparison between this and that. And so consider at times when it's appropriate to actually give a reason for them to watch until the end of the video, especially if it's a good, compelling reason. And you can include that either in your intro or even maybe in the first part of your video. Because again, people's attention still drops off. Maybe they only watch 3 of 6 minutes. But if you give an actual good reason that would add value to your audience, they might want to watch till the end if you tease it up front. All right, so there you have it. A few tips for getting people's attention at the beginning of your videos. But remember, your title and your thumbnail actually come before that. If they never actually click through to your video, then they won't even get a chance to watch those first few seconds. So if you actually want to check out my video about how to make powerful thumbnails using free software that you can get on the internet, I'll link it up on the YouTube card as well as the description below. Question of the day, what are your tips for getting and keeping people's attention here on YouTube? What have you learned? Let me know in the comment section, and remember that some of the best tips and feedback come from you, the Think Media community. So definitely connect with everybody in the comment section. So thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you want to check out that video all about how to make custom thumbnails using free software online, you can click or tap right there. If you want to check out another Think Media video, just click or tap the screen right there. Until next time, Think Media is bringing the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.